Welcome back to the Garuda Show. Since tomorrow is my birthday and I will be 61, I thought perhaps we could go back to an ode format. Get it? Ode? 61? Haha. The ode format like I used to do a couple of years ago. Today we're going to continue the talk on emptiness in NHIs. But before we get there, I want to say thank you to all those who viewed my Marshall video. There's more to come, by the way. Now, I know it's difficult to sit on your hands and not comment, right? That's why I have always gone with comments off. Well, not always. I used to have them on until they were abused. But with comments off, people are forced to become witnesses of their thoughts. So notice how that there is a distance between the thought and the witness. That's good. You know what that is? That is the first step on the ladder to level 3. So continue, and thank you very much for your views. Now, today, branching from emptiness, right? The idea emerges from cognitive science that the only you that exists is a projection from the default mode network. So even your thoughts, this video sucks. Oh my God, this guy's not a real martial artist. Even those thoughts are just neurons bouncing around. Ooh, that's a good one. Now, problem here. The problem arises. Levels 1 and 2 believe in their folk myths. For example, um, you've got this idea that, hey, check out my sneakers and my six faux. That means I am a person you must respect, right? Or you could say, check out my truck and my hunting rifle, and check out my camis I have on. That means I'm a real citizen of the woodlands. Notice how those folk myths or folk beliefs prop up a you. Now, here's what actually occurs scientifically. Let's go with the woodland guy, the ranger, right? This person's stepping into the glade, right? They have their rifle at the ready. Suddenly, incoming experience. Now, this could be simply a deer bouncing up out of the brush and taking off. That's the incoming raw experience. Now, quicker than the mind can follow, the amygdala takes a glance at this experience and says, okay, it's safe, or danger, Will Robinson, danger. Remember, quicker than can be traced by the experiencer. Now, if it's non-threatening, the experience transfers to a neuronal dance. Da dee dee da dee dee da, right? That kind of thing. And no, I can't sing, but it never stopped me yet. Now, last, quicker than the self can track. Remember, the self is the projection of the default mode network. Quicker than that self can track, it thinks, I've just seen a deer. I better raise my rifle and go kaboom, given, of course, that the deer is legal. So there you go. That's how it occurs. Now, recall that neurons are flavored by your past experiences, reactions, and qualia, your druthers. I'd rather have chocolate than that French vanilla, right? That's the druthers. That's your experience with qualia. Now, remember, when you go, wait, let me just back up there for a second. When you go on the flavor of your neurons as they are entrained, right? They're entrained to sort of, think of things a certain way or feel a certain way by the amygdala, right? Okay, okay, okay. This is what the Buddhists will call karma. Now remember, karma is just cause and effect. So let's say you had a bad experience with a copperhead. You almost stepped on one, and there you looked down, and there it was. You were inches away from a hospital visit, or maybe from death. that can entrain your neurons to be very wary of snakes. Not everybody will come away from that event like that, but some. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to so-called anomalous experiences. And now remember, when we put that phrase up there in our head, already it is trying to set the framework for how you think about NHIs. So recall once again that cognitive science, armed with mathematicians, have shown through rigorous work, that humans do not see truth. We didn't evolve to see truth, because to select for truth in Darwin's little sandbox would have a primate musing over a set of photons coming in, and that poor ape would be trying to believe, trying to figure out, not trying to believe, trying to figure out whether those photons represented food or water, or a tiger. Yeah. Now, instead, humanity selected for, like I said, detection of food, water, shelter. That's, we see these icons out there. You know, when you sit down to the Thanksgiving table and you see mama or grandma's finest turkey fresh out of the oven, well, what you're seeing is an icon. You're not seeing the thing as it is. And that icon in your head is specially attuned, like I've already said, it's specially entrained to have past experiences tethered to it. And you go, oh my, this is so good. That's how it works. Now, remember, you guys, with your phones, remember that icon on your phone that you double click? That is not the program. You know that. You know that darn well, right? And all it is a trigger that allows the program in the guts of the phone or the PC or the Mac to activate. Yeah. So that's the idea of experience. Now, let's go with the anomalous experience, right? Fake news? No, just kidding. So let's say the hunter stepping out of into the glade, and suddenly, yards away, they clearly see a 3 to 4 foot tall gray. Now I'm talking about one of those archetypal gray aliens that you see all the time in your movies and TV shows. So remember, what the hunter is seeing as an icon, not actually seeing the thing in itself. And we call it a gray because that's how we have, agreed in our culture to treat 3 to 4 foot tall beings who seem to have gray skin with big, reflective black eyes. So that archetype becomes a go-to sort of icon, already predisposed to, uh, well, we are predisposed perhaps due to stories of people who have encountered them to be afraid of them. Interesting how that works, right? These are experiences. These are naked experiences